Today is Wednesday, 12th November, 2025. I remember running on the YouTube. Sorry, not on the YouTube, on the underground. There were terrorist attacks, suicide bombers. I was going to work, I just had a hunch feeling. Don't go. I must have been on a break or something and I had to jump on the train or something, I don't know. There were terror attacks all day in London, England. 9/11, when it happened, I had a hunch feeling something really bad had happened in King's Cross. I didn't have the specific location, but I just had a hunch feeling something bad had happened. And then we saw the pictures, the videos, the footage, ground zero, the rubble, the smoke. London is where it was happening. At the time, I used to work in London. It was bad. That hunch feeling saved my life. I was alone. But a few other people turned back too. We found out later, on the 7/7, that there had been a few blow-ups on the buses, on the underground. The police are missing this information. Because when you go on the Metropolitan Police website, the criminal attacks and assaults that I'm experiencing are consistent with terrorism. I don't know how many times I've said these guys tick all the boxes. And when they really expect the police to come and arrest them, they turn up the heat on me. I don't remember the dates of the Middle East, Al-Qaeda stuff, the ISIS fights. And then it turned out some of these groups were not terrorists, but some of them which were claiming their attacks and they would give their reasons. I'm under terrorist attacks as an individual. I've just woken up. (9:32). It was 9:26. Let's just start the assaults on me again. This morning, it's apparently not to make me aggressive. It's because they almost killed each other in flat 4, Oak House. Same couldn't believe that Hannah and Zubia turned on him. Apparently he talks too much. Apparently they want to kill each other in there. I'm not calling the police. They have a lot of different rationale for why they attack me. This is persecution in England. First world country. It doesn't take that long when the terrorists are actually confessing and discussing what they're doing. When they do it when it's been done in the Middle East, they've later found out that some of those groups that are claiming things were not terrorists. But in some cases, they still are. It's a tricky situation, but still there will be people on the ground who actually intervene. Hannah said there's going to be war in England. I know what I just said. Didn't sound like I was still accusing them, but you need to listen. When they claim it, sometimes it is the terrorists. Sometimes it's not. But there have to be people who are trained to deal with this, to address it. So if it's not the police, is it the army that's needed in Flatfall? Because even soldiers experience mental health issues, but they get help. They control themselves. There's been a few stories in there. The more consistent one is that Subi and Hannah met at some sort of mental health institute. Having settled and things, I'm not sure if that negates what they're doing. I mean, it's a good disguise. But really, if officers really think about what's going on, when someone like Hannah, who's now recently said she's a mental health patient, that's a big clue. Where did she come from? For someone to have hired her to be a terror right next door. I used to pray and would know that there are people in the Middle East that need to be rescued. I can't go there, so I would pray. So if someone like Hannah was assigned against my life, and she claims she's a mental health patient with such capacity to train someone to attack sexually, physically, induced brutality on the level that they've been inflicting me. These people are not okay to have access to such brutality. I owe no one perfection as I report these things. I don't always have that right articulation for what they're doing. I'm a victim. And this has been known. As these people are criminals who turn the situation into a game for them to distribute and slow things down on themselves, using me like bait so that one day they justify how they attack England and say you never listened to her. In the last month or so, that's their rationale over England. I was walking into a Universal Credit meeting one day. The noise pollution is everywhere. The noise pollution is everywhere. Everyone can hear their audience tell us all what they're going to do. But apparently should ignore that. Yesterday is when they were threatening to create such a smoky situation, and they were saying this one will survive because she's got masks. That's in Romford. Later they were discussing how it's going to be this building that's coming down. But it's very difficult to even talk to business people about their properties. But they have such precision to be able to attack someone's specific areas, make them bleed, induce aggression immediately. When my door locks were being changed, the guy got so aggressive. We had to endure, even the children, sort of regretting me changing the locks, saying to Zubair, "Uncle, how am I going to help you break in now?" His aggression turned up a few notches when he was finishing the job on one lock. He didn't finish the second one. I had to stand back as he was packing his bag and saying, "I have to go, pay me." On top of the terror attacks, I couldn't stop him. Everybody knows Carush. Everyone knows Caroline Rumbi. But they call me big face, flat face. They've been taught to try and annoy me around. If they didn't know, it's to make me aggressive. The police have to be called on flat for Oak House. Someone came out to just ask me any good deeds today. This is one. So flat for Oak House. The landlord was in there the other day apparently. When the police left, telling me that Hannah's claimed she was a mental health patient. When they talk about it in there, apparently she walked in. She was given access. The thing is, I know someone who's linked to this. They're not actually say they own it. But the ex-wife apparently led Hannah into that flat. But I wouldn't really know, because there have been so many lies. That's the only reason I won't name them now. But Hannah knows how she got into that flat, how she got access, because she seems to think they can just take my property. So Bear apparently crept in. He was looking for a way to run away from his marriage. He found a prostitute and then he decided to stay. And then a few days ago we found out she's a mental health patient. Something doesn't add up. They were lying that they're a married couple. They didn't really think through their alibis. They sometimes tell people that I'm their child, that I'm their childminder. They sometimes tell people that I'm Zubair's wife. Apparently that makes Hannah angry. That's why I was being attacked again yesterday. But Zaid is now there as Hannah's partner. He started being trained last week. He started being trained last week. Yes, he has been quite expressive, and apparently that's why they were going to kill him today. And he's decided to attack me so that the police can come and pick him up. And he's waiting for me to call the police. When I call them, their admins have acted so weirdly. It looks so peaceful, doesn't it? I wonder what the Middle Eastern countries look like before we start seeing all that stuff happening here. Just because Flat 4, Oak House, hasn't been addressed. So Bear and Hannah were claiming how they want to become the kings and queens. First of Zimbabwe. But Hannah's ambitions apparently grew in courts. They're using Shona language, it's so easy to learn. But the ambitions quickly became towards England. I don't have all the answers of how people attack and cause terror. We've seen glimpses of it, 7/11, 9/11. And now I've been experiencing it for 5 years. The attacks have definitely increased. There's a plane flying somewhere. And when people have cooperated with them, they've claimed they're actually going to be exerting their attacks in a more public way on bigger groups of people. These people are known for it.